What's up, everybody? Excuse me. Hope you're doing well. Wish I had something to drink in here. Hey, there. Water. This is going to be a pretty quick video. And I want to touch on a topic, or maybe two or three, that I rarely touch on. The first one, this is a response to a Dr. Grande video I was just watching. It pertains to JonBenét Ramsey and the murder thereof. So, this video that I'm referring to, in this video, Dr. Grande goes through and analyzes, loosely using that term, the documentary Who Killed JonBenét Ramsey on Netflix. And he says there are one of two theories. Either the Ramseys did it, or an intruder did it. Right off the bat, that set me off. It just, I didn't like it. There's never only two theories. And a doctor should never consider only two possibilities. There is an obvious third possibility, is that the Ramseys worked in tandem with an intruder, or shall I say an outsider. I think the pineapple, if you know about pineapple tattoos and all of that, I think the pineapple's an interesting twist. And just the kind of parties that these people went to. You can put those pieces together, because I don't feel appropriate talking about it in this context. So, just if you're confused, Google pineapple tattoo and you'll get it. If you're not confused, you get it. So, just another totally tangent here. My neighbors downstairs have a pineapple growing on their patio and throw a lot of parties. And I am now gonna stop talking about this. But back to the only two theories issue. The obvious other theory is that there was a party where JonBenét was the party favor. And I hate to say it like that, but Google's watchful eye kind of demands it. There's plenty of evidence of SRA, satanic ritual abuse. Not necessarily in this case, but in reality, it happens. And one thing that leads me to think that it would be something like that is just the obfuscation of evidence, and how closely the Ramseys were tied to intelligence circles, to the military-industrial complex. I forget if it was BlackRock. Might have been BlackRock that. No, I don't think it was, but it was some military-industrial demon company that purchased John Ramsey's business. And so that's right off the bat sketchy. Just sketchy. If you know how much occult stuff these circles are into, I don't even need to explain it to you. And just the people that John hung out with, it's just what those kind of people are into. They're into the profane. Let's see, what else? The obvious. What did JonBenét Ramsey, sorry to mock her, what did she do? She did pageants. Who fucking puts their kid through that, dude? I would never doll my daughter up to look like John and Patsy dolled JonBenét up. And how narcissistic to name her JonBenét after John Bennett. It's weird. As much as I have looked into ritual sacrifice, this seems to fit all of the criteria. I mean, it was a Christmas party. Christmas, if you know it, is based on very, very occult things. So I urge you, when you watch a video that presents you one of two options, doesn't matter what the option is, or, they say that there are only two possible options or possibilities. That's not facts. That's not true at all. There's unlimited options until it's figured out which one it is. Just because the two most obvious are either the Ramseys did it, the Patseys did it. The Patseys did it. Get it? Get it? The Patsy did it. Not Patsy Ramsey, the Patsy did it. And if all of these be afraid for... See, what that whole story to me just seems odd. If you look into the framing of the pictures, all of this and that, we're about to go way off the deep end here now. That's a story to make an entire nation fearful. And that story is really what sparked the whole 90s, 2000s kidnapping fear. Just absolute paranoia. I remember before that, I was very young. Let's see, that happened in 96 and I would have been 10. So prior to that, I was a young child. And nobody really worried about kidnapping because nobody did it. And yes, now there were, wow, that was a terrible sentence. There is now, and has been for a long time, child trafficking. But not as much as you might be led to think. At least not in America. There's too many guns here, first of all. And what else? I kind of got derailed there. Let's see, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that really just made everybody afraid. Okay, so it happened on Christmas, a time of joy. What did it do? It tainted that joy. It made everybody associate that joy waking up the next morning and hearing about this dead little girl, this dead little pageant queen. This tiny dancer, if you will. Tony Danza. And that's a manipulative story. I want you to try to view stories not for what they are, but what effect they have on people. That's going to really help you separate what's true from what's not. And always, in my opinion, err on the side of disbelief. You can't get hurt for disbelieving something. But you can get hurt by putting faith in something, especially that you see on screen, that deserves no faith absent further scrutiny. And personal further scrutiny, not just my own take or somebody else's take. So, to wrap up this ramble, what do I think happened? I think that there was a swinger party. And I think that JonBenét was the party favor. And I think Burke was told to go upstairs and keep his mouth shut. And I think this took place after the Christmas party at the Ramseys' friend's house. I forget their name. It doesn't matter. Look it up. I think there's a swinger party, and I think somebody got a little too rough, or JonBenét started screaming as the neighbors reported, and somebody decided to conk her, to make it stop. And then to obfuscate that, she wasn't quite expired yet. Instead of just waiting for it to happen, she was probably breathing in a really disgusting way at that point. She was probably brain dead, but going through the throes of death. And these people knew her. They were her parents' friends, despite how vile they are. And in that moment, what did they do? They used what they had around them to make it stop. As disgusting as it is, it fits. You go down these... I'll relate this to my personal life. It has nothing to do with what happened to JonBenét, but just drug addiction in general. So, nobody ever expects to be a heroin addict. Although I'll tell you a story about Dare when I was a kid another time. That doesn't matter for right now. Nobody expects to be a crackhead, for instance. But here I am, recovered from being a crackhead. You can get embroiled in things that you would never think possible. And it doesn't occur to you where you are until something just smacks you upside the head. For myself, it was my ex-wife taking my children, which was the best thing that could have happened for me. But what am I getting at? I'm getting at, I think that when John sold his company, he got involved in some really, really just awful circles. Look up the companies, the company that adopted his, or sucked his into theirs. They're not good people, and bad people do bad things, and bad people also take advantage of weak people. Patsy was sick with cancer. John needed the money, or at least they had the medical bills from Patsy being sick with cancer. I need you to I can't say anymore. It's gross. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I think that's what happened. And I think that because of the fact that the military-industrial complex was involved, the government got involved, and the government made it go away. And I think that's the reason that the detective quit, because he realized that it was a racket. Put your pieces together. My viewers are intelligent enough.